isn't a trial that I'm going through in downtown Manhattan. It's a political campaign, a witch hunt, just like the highly conflicted and biased judge Juan Merchant wanted it to be. He wants it to be because he's coordinated, obviously, at least in spirit, with the White House. I'm sure his political friends and allies, and crooked Joe Biden in particular, will be thrilled that they are getting away with this corrupt, ancient, and highly political attack on his 2024 presidential opponent. That happens to be me. Thank you very much.
Well, it's hard to argue with the former president. He's absolutely right. I mean, New York has become a cesspool of violence, chaos, mayhem, illegal migrants taking over the city, crime taking over the city. With these trials, investors, actual businesses are leaving. They're saying, we're not going to invest in New York anymore. This is dangerous. He talked about Judge Gargamel, Letitia Big Shame James on top of this. But that's not what we're here to talk about today, even though it's profoundly true and we do need to change this. Stormy Daniels takes the stand yet again in the sham hush money trial, quote unquote, alleged hush money trial. And her cross-examination, re-cross-examination, the stuff that she said today was, I've got everything you need. It's just unreal. The damage that she has done to this case, it's just an absolute shock that the prosecution is still continuing to pursue this. It's insane. This case should have been thrown out, and I don't see how it can't be thrown out after what she said today. There was a lot she said. But one thing that was really big and really telling was an audio recording from 2018 between Michael Cohen and Stormy Daniels' then attorney Keith Davidson was played to attorneys and the judge. In the recording, Keith Davidson appeared to be threatening Cohen and Trump. On the phone, he claims Daniels' publicist boyfriend is going to run the story to the press, saying, quote, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if he comes out and says, you know what, Stormy Daniels, she wanted this money more than you can ever imagine. You better settle this. I remember hearing her on the phone saying, F you, Keith Davidson, you better settle this, because if he loses this, and he's going to lose, if he loses this election, we lose all effing leverage. This case is worth zero. Whoa, bombshell, huge. Even the left woke mind mafia state media, MSNBC, agreed this is very damaging to her credibility. Listen to this.
And Susan Neckles brings up this moment in which it seems as if Stormy Daniels was angry, quote unquote, furious, as Susan Neckles puts it, about the fact that the money had not been paid out. The negotiated payout had not been cemented as of yet. And we now know, obviously, the former president was trying to delay that, hoping that he would either win and or lose the election and would not have to necessarily pay out this $130,000 towards Stormy Daniels. Stormy then subsequently asked, what are you talking about? When Susan Neckles said, weren't you furious? Weren't you angry? Weren't you calling Keith Davidson names, your attorney at the time? And she said, what are you talking about? I'd like to see this evidence. So let me read for you some of what they played for the court today, a conversation between Keith Davidson and Michael Cohen about this, guys, in which, and there, by the way, are some expletives there, so I'm going to skip some words. I just didn't want you to get caught off guard. This is Keith Davidson speaking, and I wanted to let you know what was going on behind the scenes. And I about this between what they played for the court today, a conversation between Keith Davidson and Michael Cohen about this, guys, in which, and there, by the way, are some expletives there, so I'm going to skip some words. I just didn't want you to get caught off guard. This is Keith Davidson speaking, and I wanted to let you know what was going on behind the scenes, and I would not be the least bit surprised if you see in the next couple of days that Gina Rodriguez's boyfriend, remember, Gina Rodriguez is Stormy Daniels' agent at the time, goes out in the media and tells the story that Stormy Daniels, in the weeks prior to the election was basically yelling and screaming and calling me a P word, and you can guess what that word was. And Michael Cohen says, can I ask you a question? And Keith Davidson says, no, hold on one second. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if he comes out and says, you know what, Stormy Daniels, she wanted this money more than you can ever imagine. I remember hearing her on the phone saying, you blanking Keith Davidson, you better settle this story, because if he loses this election, and he's going to lose, if he loses this election, we lose all leverage in this case. It's worth zero. And if that happens, I'm going to sue you because you lost this opportunity. So settle this blanking case. And then they go on because they bring up, guys, the NDA, right? The settlement, the $130,000, and the point of which there's an exchange between Necklace and Stormy Daniels. And I'm just going to read a bit for you, and then I'm going to throw it back to you because I know there's a lot to talk about here. There's a settlement agreement, Necklace says, between two parties. You cite a few things that will be agreed to. Prior to entering the agreement, there is confidential information relating to the defendant in this case, and Daniel says yes. The next paragraph that they're looking at, you say you have been damaged and you were going to have to release claims. I did this, Stormy Daniels says, because my attorney suggested that I do. And then they go on. This is the parties agreeing it would be kept confidential, and you refer to it as an NDA. Yes, this is the confidentiality agreement, right? Necklace says. Daniel says yes. Again, this is getting, guys, and I think we're going to see a lot more of this in the cross-examination, which is likely to go on for the next couple of hours because they go on. This is getting at the credibility issues of Stormy Daniels.
Or lack thereof of credibility is probably more apt, because it really seems hard to believe that anybody would take Stormy Daniels serious. It just seems so obvious that she was trying to extort former President Trump for money. Here's more. Trump's attorney, Susan Nichols, hammering Stormy Daniels on the stand, exposing a pattern of using this story to capitalize financially as much as possible. Daniels, a lot of you guys might not know this, Daniels was on reality TV, did a strip club tour using a play on Trump's campaign slogan, did interviews for profit, wrote a book, and all of her associates have said all she was looking for was to gain financial advantage. Check out this former federal judge, again, on woke mind, left virus, mafia nation station, CNN. Listen to this federal judge tell CNN about what she thinks of Stormy Daniels' testimony in this trial. Check this out.
The material that came in was not relevant to this criminal case at all. And I think it shows that she was trying to get Trump. I actually thought there was a motive there. She said she hates him. She said she'd like to see him in prison. I think she was purposely throwing out this stuff to make sure the jurors were prejudiced, particularly the women jurors, but probably half of the men too, were really put off.
Which is exactly what Trump's team tried to prove at the end of today's testimony when they tried to go for another second filing of a mistrial. So they tried again to persuade Judge Fake Don Juan Merchan to push for a mistrial, and he denied them again. He denied them a second time, even though you've got Michael Cohen, who's supposed to be a huge, even bigger star witness than Stormy Daniels. You've got this guy live. He's doing live streams on TikTok, CCP-owned TikTok, making money off of this case, talking about this case, skewing biases, showing a huge conflict of interest and a huge odor of mendacity, to quote another trial from Cash Money G. Y'all know I cover that very well. And this is a federal judge saying it just reeks of irrelevance. What is happening? This is CNN, for crying out loud. Even more, I thought Trump's attorney Susan Nichols did a really, really great job of just exposing Stormy Daniels on the stand, because her story just kept constantly changing. On the stand, Daniels claimed that Trump's bodyguard got her information for Trump. But in 2011, Daniels said Trump came and asked her himself. So which is it, Stormy? Nichols even said, quote, "Your story has evolved over the years, hasn't it?" End quote. Stormy claims she just has trouble remembering. I just have a froggy memory. Unfortunately, Daniels tells the story so much for profit between her book tours that she should have had her story straight. Here's a question to ask you. Let me know in the comments. If Stormy Daniels is getting exposed, how in the world do you think Michael Cohen's going to do? Let me know in the comments. And then really to top it all off, as if this trial couldn't become, it's better than anything Hollywood could produce. It is absolutely the soap opera of soap operas. As if it couldn't get any more soap opera-esque. this happened.
This was very much what I'd call a nuts and sluts defense. There was a portion of the cross-examination where Susan Neckles was focused on the fact that Stormy Daniels now claims that she is a medium and that she communicates with dead people and has participated in a TV series about the paranormal where she explores things, including the fact that at one point an ex-boyfriend of hers was inhabited by spirits. She was mocking Stormy Daniels. She wants the jury to think Stormy Daniels is a liar and she is crazy. And she also wants the jurors to judge her.
Oh, no, she's totally credible. Yeah, she's a medium. She talks to dead people. Of course the jury should take everything she says seriously. Of course she's telling the truth when she says she wasn't after money. She just wanted to make sure that the truth was known. I wanted to make sure that the truth was out there. Yeah, on a sluts and nuts defense, excuse me? That is supposed to be a professional broadcasting network, and you say, wait a minute, let me make sure I get this right. A nuts and sluts defense? I beg your pardon? What do you think of that connotation right there? Let me know in the comments. Trump's team then questioned her motivations and asked at one point if she was exploring her own sexuality and hatred of Trump to find a new demographic. And she said, quote, "I'm just doing the same job I've always done," end quote. She's now admitted her behavior was nothing more than financial gain, and she wanted every penny out of Donald Trump that she could get. Will she ever pay Trump what she owes him after losing in court? I don't know. You let me know in the comments. I don't think so. And then, like, just a final note on Stormy Daniels. It seems beyond obvious. She also, by the way, she also admitted to signing that statement where she says it never happened. She admitted that in court. And then just to kind of give the little cherry on the pie, the cherry on the cake, Stormy Daniels' lawyer releases this statement and this really skeptical, strange, bizarre photo from the courtroom, as if these two are on vacation in the Bahamas, like Cash Money G. Check this out.
We have a statement now from Clark Brewster, Stormy Daniels' attorney, telling NBC News that he is proud of her and the way she handled her grueling testimony, a day and a half it was. He says she is shaken by the ordeal, but relieved it is over. That is a picture that he sent out on Twitter of the two of them afterwards.
Excuse me. Does this look like she's shaking with terror? She's wrought with emotional strain? I mean, what kind of a smile is that? It seems like they're having a good time. This is the kind of picture. And then you post this on social media? This is a woman under duress. This is a witness under duress. This is somebody who's doing this for the right reasons. I mean, that looks like a vacation photo, right? Look at that big, greasy, goopy smile from this lunkhead right here. And then she's grinning too, as if this sort of malicious smile, as if to say, I got you, Trump. I mean, this doesn't seem like the appearance of somebody who is under a lot of emotional duress. I don't know. Am I crazy, Nez Nation? You let me know in the comments, because that doesn't make any sense to me. So after Judge Fake Don Juan Merchan denied the bid for mistrial, Trump calling the ruling a complete, quote, disgrace, that pretty much resumed the testimony of Stormy Daniels for that day. There were a couple other witnesses, and I'll talk about that later. You had one of his assistants who came to the stand, Monacchio, and you also had a Madeline Westerhout who came and testified as well. And I'll talk about that in a separate video. But really, the key witnesses here are Stormy Daniels and then soon to be Michael Cohen. You know I'm going to get you covered, but I want to hear from you. What do you think of this testimony? What do you think of the contradictory statements she made? What do you think of this trial still going on, this circus show still going on? I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comments down below. As always, members get top priority, super chats, super thanks. We really appreciate you. I've got links in the pinned comment and description if you want to join, become a member. You get a special badge next to your name, shout outs and live streams, exclusive content. Our Discord members only Discord, you get access to that. Pinned comment and in the show notes and description. Check that out. Don't forget, become a Nez Nation Insider. That's our free news. That's a freebie, y'all. It's our free newsletter where you get all of this amazing information, all of the live updates, breaking news that mainstream media won't cover right to your inbox. That's free. So check that out as well in the pinned comment, show notes, and description. Check out these videos coming up right here. I published this one today. It's very, very important. Click on that right now. I'll see you over there. Follow, subscribe. As always, God bless you, and may God bless America. I'll see you soon.